Good morning, Sunday 10. Y'all sound alive, bro. How we doing family? Hello, distinguished guests. My name is Alvino Cooper. My wife, Maya, where is she? Oh, there you go. My prayer partner, we are the co-pastors of this wonderful Sunday 10 service, all right? Yes, our service, we are also the former church picnic basketball champions. I just want to mention this to y'all. I'm telling every service, we're going to keep saying this until we regain the title, all right? All right. It is so great to be before you today under the banner of our Spiritual Inheritance series. To be totally honest with you, my last two messages were on very weighty subjects. I kind of felt like PJ, Pastor Stefan, and the speaking team were picking on the new guy, okay? But check this out, brothers and sisters. As children of God, right, through adoption, we have received God's name and a spiritual inheritance with the one and only begotten Jesus Christ. I'm about to get excited. I am already enjoying this series because PJ told me I could fight. But what's the use, we learn, if you're not practicing and training every day in this battle? Darren and Nikki, they cut it straight. They let us know if you're not serving in your local church, you ain't living. And you probably need to check your faith temperature to see whether you're cold or hot. Pastor Stefan dropped this treatise on us about humility, right? We learned that walking in humility is being able to admit when we're wrong. Humility also allows us to change these behaviors and move forward having learned from previous missteps. So on this Sunday, before Thanksgiving, in our Spiritual Inheritance series, I will talk about laughter, smiles, joy, cheerfulness, and my expertise, silliness, okay? Let's pray. Thank you for an inheritance bought by the precious shed blood of our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. We will walk in all our privilege as your children and take hold of this great blessing and glorify your name again. Not by my might, nor by my power, but by your Spirit, Lord. Transform our lives by your presence. Amen. In Jesus' name, amen. I am really in my element here, if y'all can't tell. I'm funny without even trying to be, all right? And when I'm around my kids, the gloves come off. Like, for instance, when Nehemiah got his license, y'all, his driver's license, he was so proud. And like a good son, I got off work that day. He came home. He brought me the license. I was in the kitchen. He was like, look, Dad. And I was like, yeah, you got your license. I'm getting excited. I was like, this is a good picture, son. We could put this in the cabinet and scare all the roaches away. Of course, I do not tell my ladies that, my girls. I just let them know, hey, you got your license. I'm proud of you. Let me know when you get on the road so that I can stay off. So, and hey, let me add this also. You guys are free to use that material. No copyright infringement. And the crazy thing is, my kids will never admit to me in my face that I'm funny, all right? But guess what? They tell other people I'm funny. So it's but the response I usually get from them, they usually just grunt and leave the room. So why are we covering laughter? Why is laughter a part of our Spiritual Inheritance series? We all know, and I don't need to mention, all the benefits we derive from laughter. Like, it boosts immunity. It lowers our stress hormone. It decreases pain and relaxes our muscles. We already know that it prevents heart disease. It adds joy and zest to our lives. It eases anxiety and tension and improves our mood. There is no need for me to explain that it strengthens resilience, helps diffuse conflict, and promotes group bonding. There is no need for me to go over any of those benefits. So let's just move on. Besides, you had them on the PowerPoint anyway. The bottom line is, laughter is important, and we should intentionally grasp hold of the joy of the Lord each and every day of our lives, regardless of whatever circumstance or situation we find ourselves in. James puts it this way in chapter 1, verse 2. Brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. Can we take a little consensus right here? Okay? Raise your hand if life appears to present you with one trial after the next. Let me see these people out here, okay? Okay, that's a good number. Those people that didn't raise your hand, guess what? Your trial is on the way. This is the reason God has given us the inheritance of laughter, smiles, cheerfulness, and joy. Picture the home devoid of laughter. What does that look like? Can we imagine the dreary, stifling, almost lifeless atmosphere in a home absent joy? Joy, rosy and bright, affectionately cheery, and obnoxiously silly. That sound like anybody we know? PJ. Excuse me. Still not convinced? You still need some convincing, huh? All right, let's look at this illustration. We want to consider two cities right here. One, sunny Key West, Florida. Look at that. And the other, London, England. I'm sorry, Doreen. Since James points out that our joy should manifest in conflict, we're going to look at these cities in the winter, and we are correlating the season with conflict or pressure. In Key West, there is an average of 10 and a half hours of sunlight in the winter. If this is you during tests and trials, you're an overachiever, okay? I am not going to ask for a show of hands because the one or maybe two of you will shame the rest of the sanctuary. Next, London. Doreen, please don't take this personally. In this fair city during winter, it averages less than 1 hour of sunlight during the winter months. In fact, in 2019, London went 63 days without a straight hour of sunlight for the whole of winter. That's crazy, right? If this is your home, all right, just send me an email. We're about to do some counseling. But the truth of the matter is, we're not here to point out our misses, okay? We only want to encourage and reassure you. Guess what? Our homes replicate what we portray before them, whether generational curse or spiritual blessing. This is the whole reason for the Spiritual Inheritance series. The expectation is not the overachiever by far, and we also do not expect London. Our goal is to identify our inheritance as the children of God and begin walking in a manner worthy of our duty and our calling. So let's continue on now with a little bit of application. I love that the teaching that comes from this pulpit always comes with application. We need to know how we can begin living out our lives once God reveals his truth to us in his word. Our application today consists of two truth principles. One, we'll call it Jesus' acceptance of us. And two, intentional joy. Let's look at the book of Romans, the greatest book ever written in the New Testament. It concludes with these famous words: accept one another then, just as Christ has accepted you. Our focus is on the last four words. Christ has accepted you. The Greek word rendered accept here in English is a forceful, graphic, and descriptive word. It is the word, all right, y'all ready for this? Proslambano. I'm no Greek scholar, but through research, I learned that proslambano means it's an emotional word, and it means pros, above and overriding every other issue. Lambano, to charge straight toward a person and to forcibly embrace that person to yourself. Proslambano is a picture of God chasing you down to give you a great big one of those Jeff Benton hugs. You know what I mean? Like Jeff ever hug you? He like, come here, man. Let me get it. Yeah, you know, you feel good after that, you know? So this is what God wants us to know. This is the picture Jesus presents of the Father also in the parable of the prodigal son. Jesus says when relating this, and while he was still a long way off, the Father saw him coming. Filled with love and compassion, he ran to his son, embraced him, and kissed him. Can we see God's direction of how we are to greet each other, how we are to accept one another? Say it with me. Proslambano. Make it sound official, like proslambano. Yes, y'all got it. This relates directly to James. You see, the father had every right to feel spurned and rejected by his son. This was the same son that bossed up and acted like his dad owed him something. Like, really. But instead, the father was filled with love and compassion. Jesus says he was ecstatic to see his son. Let's go with another illustration. Everybody should be able to relate to this. When your kids are young, not so much the teenage years, but you know those early years, right? If you've been away from them for any amount of time, when you walk through the door and they see you and you go down on that knee, they're going to run and throw themselves in your arms, right? So picture Jesus as the child throwing himself into our arms. That's how he wants to embrace us. This reminds me of one of my kids. She takes hugs to a whole different level. My nickname for her is Huggy Buddy. Like, I could get a hug walking into the living room, all right? 10 minutes later, I get up to get something out of the bedroom. I get another hug. I leave the bedroom to get something from the kitchen. I'm accosted with another hug. Y'all may think this is cute, but really, it's kind of disconcerting. Like, what's going on here? Am I dying or something? You trying to get last rites? I'm curious. I got questions, or maybe she's just a little overly affectionate. So as Christ is this child greeting us, God is saying we should greet, accept, proslambano one another the same way. Hey, I said I would give you the method. I didn't say it would be easy. God was in Christ, chasing us down to embrace us in whatever life situation we were in. Let's go deeper in God's word, because if our aim is proslambano, we have to apply the truth of the word of God to truly transform our hearts. Proverbs 15:15 says, all the days of the oppressed are wretched, but the cheerful heart has a continual feast. What is the atmosphere in our homes? Let's go back to the weather analogy. The Key West home is bright and cheery, filled with joy and laughter. This takes the edge off and communicates humility and approachability. So when conflict arises, and you know conflict arises in homes, whenever there's an issue to address, if you're that Key West home, it's in the least a neutral interaction. And in the most, it could be a joyful interaction. So these next two verses define London's weather to me. Cold and dreary, sparse sun and smiles. The word that really jumps out at me is unaffectionate. Think about the expectation of this household when there is conflict or a crisis. Proverbs 27:5 says, better is open rebuke than hidden love. A love-starved family that doesn't feel your acceptance would rather have your anger than be ignored. A good example of this is when Maya was still a single parent, one of our daughters constantly got in trouble in the principal's office. Maya was constantly up at the school. She was constantly in the principal's office. Maya, in prayer about this, wondering what is going on with my child, she knows better than this. God told her she's reaching out for attention. When Maya started showing her this attention, her behavior changed totally. In Colossians 3:21, fathers. Now, you got to love when God directs scripture to a specific group of people. It's like, hey, he's talking about me right here. Do not embitter your children, or they will become discouraged. Think of children in this environment, the London atmosphere. They rarely see an affirming smile. The lack of fun and laughter has to communicate a sense of being aloof and separate. Then, boom, discipline has to be administered. What do you think is going through the mind of this child at this point? They probably would be screaming in their mind, what is wrong with me? All right? What do I need to do to change myself? I need y'all to help me out on this last one. Fill in the blank. No matter what I do, my father is never... Send me some answers, y'all. Somebody said pleased over here. You move to the front of the congregation. Think about it. No matter what I do, my father is never pleased. This is not the legacy we want to leave our kids. And it is not how we want to be remembered once we leave. When me and Maya got married, Maya and I, we came together and decided we wanted our home to be one that would be big on affection. Me, being raised by a single father and two of the roughest brothers this side of the Mississippi. And Maya being the single child of a mother who was a single child. We both realized that affection did not come naturally for us. So we came together and we agreed that we would be very affectionate toward our kids, even if we did not feel like it. Maya does a better job than me, of course. But I believe God blessed our intent. Because if you ask me, the kids are a little too affectionate. So I encourage all households to make your homes places of laughter, joy, and silliness. Don't always feel like you have to drill down on some issue or some choices that your kids are making at this point. Instead, make your home a haven to rest and relax, a letting down of your guards, and being silly. God knows the world is taking every cheap shot it can at our kids. I feel that verse in Colossians addresses fathers particularly because as protectors, it is our duty to make sure that our families feel secure and protected from the world and even from our scrutinizing eyes sometimes. This brings us to our second principle of intentional joy. All right? The word joy is in the Bible 242 times. We're about to go through all of them. They're on the back of your handout. Let's get them out. Let's look at them. We don't have all day, people. Come on. Come on. I got you. We are not going through 242 verses. Y'all silly. Keep it real. Nehemiah 8:10. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Galatians 5:22 says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, and peace. James, there's that verse in James again. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. This is a tall order right here, and the only way this will be possible is through intentional joy. But first, we have to be very careful here. We want to not to confuse joy with happiness. They're very similar, and only by a careful examination of the attributes of both happiness and joy can we grasp the delicate difference between the two. Happiness, root word happen, is externally motivated. It relies on and is bolstered by the current situation. Joy is internal. Acts 13:52 says, and the disciples were continually filled with joy and with the Holy Spirit. Happiness is about me, what I'm getting. A gift, that raise, recognition, it comes and goes blithely along its way. Joy is about giving. like the contentment of serving. Like a discipline, it's deliberate and intentional. Happiness, it constantly fades. Why? The law of diminishing returns. Joy constantly grows. Why? We pursue happiness, but we choose joy. Because regardless of hardship and trials, joy connects with meaning and purpose beyond meaning and purpose being an outward manifestation of the Holy Spirit. Happiness is immediate short-term reward, long-term cost. Joy is immediate short-term reward, long-term, greater reward. All right? Consider the life whose long-term goal is happiness. All right? Not trying to step on any toes, but we want to consider and really grasp the transcendence of joy. It embraces peace and contentment waiting to be revealed. Nothing moves the person with the joy of the Lord, and that individual's expectation never goes unfulfilled. I have a story to bring home our point. One of the many examples God has shown me where when we choose joy, it never leaves our expectation unfulfilled. I started AT&T 10 years ago as a wire technician. This was an entry-level job, lowest paying, hardest working, forced overtime every day, forced weekends. We never stopped working, guys. Rain, cold, or Georgia heat. In the summers, we were forced to work 6 days on, 1 day off. In the winter, during snow or ice storms, everyone has to report into work to repair the lines that the trees and the limbs knocked down. On top of all of that, my work center was 54 miles away from our house. This translated to an hour and a half to 3 hour commute back home after working a full shift. Now, this was the job that God handed me to provide for the family. So guess what? I quit. No, I just playing. After hearing PJ's sermon on complaining and speaking negative, I chose joy intentionally. My peers will tell you and testify, I came to work every day with smiles and cheerfulness, and this was not a facade. At the time, it was a discipline. So let's fast forward to 8 years in this role. Now I'm looking for something else, people. I'm tired, all right? It's starting to wear and tear on my body. Every year I get older, but the job stays the same. Come on, make it make sense. Anything would do at this point. I just didn't want to take a pay cut. I applied for 2 positions in the company that I really didn't think I had a chance to get, but guess what? I was leaving the outcome to God. One of the positions was electronic technician, and the other was a digital technician in a group they call special services. All right? Talk about exceeding expectation, okay? I practically doubled my salary as a digital tech. In fact, I was moved from the lowest technician pay grade to the highest technician pay scale in the company. The first tool they gave me for this job was a rugged laptop. I know for the past 2 years, I no longer spend the majority of my days out in the elements. This role is more technical, where I spend most of my time turning up the high-end equipment and testing the network to make sure the path is clean. And on top of all of that, guess what? My new work center is 5 minutes away from our house. It's like right across the street. If that doesn't convince you that in God's economy, warm, cheerful, positive, intentional joy always translates to fulfilled expectations, I don't know what will, okay? I can't do anything. I throw in the towel. All right, let's wrap this up with some introspection, family. What was the atmosphere we were raised in? What is the current atmosphere of our homes? A few thoughts. To walk in intentional joy, We have to grab our emotions early. Start the day off with compliments and thankful comments and praises. When we do this, we teach our kids, our staff, and our peers to do the same. And for altar ministry, I want to leave you with the word that Pastor Jesse gave me as our altar ministers come forth. You see, I have made my mistakes in this area of spiritual inheritance of laughter in the atmosphere of my home. I have said things and I have done things that I know my children have suffered because. So Pastor Jesse, I'm standing on this word of God that Pastor Jesse spoke to me from Joel chapter 2, verse 25. It says, God will restore the years that the locusts have eaten. It begins at the foot of the cross by the precious blood of our Lord Jesus Christ. So if you're like me, you can bring those mistakes and all your missteps to the altar, to the only God that can give us a do-over. And so we can begin walking in our spiritual inheritance. And for those who don't need prayer, turn to your neighbor, wish them a happy, joy-filled Thanksgiving, and tell them one thing about the message that grabbed your attention. And with that, you guys are dismissed to have a wonderful holiday.